asked on Facebook to some of my followers for a few questions, and I got some questions back. So thank you very much to those people. So question number one, find it a bit complicated to measure and take the correct amount. Is there a simple way of doing this? So yes, some brands make it simple. Precision Hydration and Fuel, their energy is always in a 30-gram source. So whether you're taking the energy gel or you're taking the energy powder for a drink, it's always 30 grams there. Other brands will be 25. Some brands, it's a bit more awkward, and it could be 22 or 25, 27. It's different between different varieties, and that's just hard work. So try and find a brand that makes the maths easier, and I think 25 to 30 grams makes it much, much simpler. You're making your own shortbread or a jam sandwich, or you're taking jelly babies, work out what is 25 grams worth. Back of a packet of jelly babies, it'll tell you that 4 sweets is 20 grams, which is 17 grams of carbohydrates, right? A little bit of maths, you can work out how many sweets. Might be 6 sweets is 25 grams of carbs. Write that down on a bit of paper. So you've got one of this brand of gel, 6 jelly babies, you've got a standard portion of shortbread, you know how many portions that you've got in a tray. Everything's in a multiple of 25 or 30 grams. You've worked it out once, you've done it. Now you've got to remember to take it. How am I going to remember what to do? 2 ways of doing that. Write it down, bit of paper, a little bit of sticky tape, stick it on the stem of your bike, a little bit of masking tape or something. Know what I'm going to eat, I know how much is in there. It's 6 jelly babies is my target, or it's 1 portion of shortbread. Write it on the back of your hand. A lot of the Garmin's, they'll send you a time reminder. So you can set a reminder for every 15 minutes, say, and just says eat or drink. You look down on your stem, it says, right, 1 portion is 6 jelly babies, or 1 gel, or 1 portion of shortbread, or 1 sandwich, 1 banana, half a banana. And 15 minutes later, you watch bleeps again. Fine, I'll go and grab another portion. And you can be eating little and often. But make it simple for you. Write it down. Have the watch do the hard work for you. Second question I had, gels do work, don't like using plastics. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. I dislike these gels. There's a lot of litter, and I think there has to be a better way. Now, normal food is probably the most straightforward way of doing it, particularly for a training ride. Make a batch of it, freeze it. Some of these will keep. You might be able to make a week's worth and use that for several runs, several rides during that week. I say freeze it, store it. Very, very easy and a lot more sustainable than a gel packet. And I'd save the gels, say, for emergency use, a couple of training sessions to make sure that they're working well, and for races. You can make your own. It's a lot cheaper, a lot more environmentally friendly to buy a big packet of maltodextrin or a bag of sugar in a paper bag, pinch of salt from your kitchen, and just mix your own. And you're putting in a reusable plastic bottle probably, or you're putting it in a little pouch that you can again wash out and reuse many, many times. We've not got that waste there. Especially if you're mixing it with fruit juices and natural flavors there. So very easy with the DIY route to do that. Some brands are producing better packaging. Some brands are now producing like 90-gram multi-packs in a recyclable little bottle. So you can take, got an hour's worth there in one bottle if you're going to use the gels, and then that can be recycled at the end of the day. There are some brands that will put recycling bins at races. So you finish your gels, you put them back in your pocket till the end of the race, you put them in the recycling bin, they'll take them away and recycle them. And that helps to a degree, and I think we need more brands to be doing that. But I think I would go down the natural food or the DIY route if this is a big concern, and just save those gels for special occasions and races. Get terrible heartburn, especially during long runs. What's the best way to deal with this? Well, first thing I'm going to say is see a doctor, or particularly a pharmacist. Pharmacist would probably be my first choice if it's a regular problem. Go and ask their advice. They're brilliant for this kind of thing, and they'll be able to offer some help with that, because there are many, many individual factors. It's not just one thing. Sometimes it will be different foods will help. Spicy foods and a lot of caffeine in particular can cause more heartburn. So it may be before a long training session that you avoid the spicy foods, you avoid too much caffeine in the morning. Little and often. So I mentioned earlier, you put a timer on your watch for 15 minutes. maybe change that to 10, have a smaller portion every 10 minutes and just keep it trickling in. So you've not got a huge amount of this food that's going to upset your stomach. Also helps just to absorb all the stomach acid and keeps it busy, stops it from churning around too much. And again, keeping drinking. Just keeps washing everything down, stops any of that acid getting into your esophagus, into your gullet, which is where the burn comes from. So little and often, definitely, but no, speak to a doctor or pharmacist, I think would be my first choice. Fasted training. Now, this is one of the fads that we talked about earlier. So is it possible to train your body to use energy better, more efficiently by training with minimal nutrition? So deliberately training with low energy stores, not eating properly in the morning, so normally going without breakfast. You've used some of those glycogen stores overnight, double sessions in a day so that you might be well fed for the session in the morning, but you don't properly refuel during the daytime. So by the time you get to an afternoon or an evening session, you're running out of energy there, and it's effectively a fasted session. Sometimes it can be accidental, you've just been too busy and got to eat your lunch, or you didn't have time to eat your lunch. Is this a good idea? Short answer, no. Long answer, no. Your body needs the fuel. If you've not got that fuel, you're going to use the fat. If you're using the fat, you will slow down. You're not going to get that efficient training session. The best way to train your body to use fat more efficiently is not by not eating carbohydrates, by doing more training. It's by doing nice, easy, steady training in that fat burning zone, that lower to middle intensity zone. So volume, consistency of training are far, far more important than not eating during a training session. So eat during a training session, fuel those training sessions, recover well, and that will enable you to do better quality training more regularly, and that will boost your fat burning. So no, I don't agree with fasted training, and I'm sure there's going to be some comments on that. But no, fuel your training, fuel your races. Don't go in without that energy. Would you have any advice on fueling strategies and products that work? And is the on-course nutrition the way to go? Well, best one for you is the best one for you, and that's not necessarily for me. So the one I would do is just test it. Ask a friend what they try. Borrow some. Ask them if they can give you a couple of gels or a bit of the energy drink. Test it out. See if it agrees with you. See if you like the taste. See if your stomach agrees with it. If it doesn't, try something else. So it is very, very individual that way. Test the one that's on offer with the course, because I've said before, if that agrees with you and you like it, it saves a lot of carrying just to be able to pick up a water bottle or a gel or an energy bar from the table on the aid station on a course, rather than to carry everything in a pocket. If that doesn't work for you and it's not suitable, yeah, you can get them energy powder in little portions. You can get them in little sachets, or you can make up your own little sachets that you can add into plain water. You can make up a super concentrated mix, as long as you don't remember to not to down it all in one. Have some water with it. But you can make these. There's ways of making that easier to carry. But definitely try the on-course nutrition if you get the option. But what's best for you? It's so individual. Test it, practice it. So thank you very much. I will put links in the description. So if you haven't seen part one, which is on the water and sweating, or part two, which is on electrolytes and salts, go and have a look at the description. Go and watch those videos. So send me a message. Have a look on Facebook, Instagram. Go find the website. Thank you very much for watching. Please do get in touch. And you've been watching A Simple Way to a Faster Triathlon.